welcome to this conversation. As this format of Think Talent, we promote as Talent Coven, which is actually about managing talent without wizards and witches. I have a very special guest with me today for this short, sort of sharp conversation, if you will. I'll introduce him in a minute. But today we want to talk about an industry which is not that talked about. The engineering industry, if you will, and where expertise plays a very critical role. Not that it doesn't play a role in other industries, but somehow we seem to talk a lot about digital and technology and all that, but somewhere we've forgotten that, perhaps some of the core engineering, also needs to be taken care of from a building expertise and talent point of view. So, Sanjay Chaturvedi, welcome to the conversation. Sanjay is the Director HR for Hilti. But more important, I think he's got cross-industry and global experience of having worked in multiple countries and geographies, and brings a very special sort of a perspective to talent from not just his current industry, but also from other industries and geographies, as I mentioned. So Sanjay, welcome again, and let me start off straight off. So, given that Hilti is a very specialized kind of a company. And obviously there is a different kind of talent, if you will, in this industry compared to, let's say, banking or services and stuff like that. I think it will be good to hear from you. For your kind of a company, what are the talent management considerations? What does it look like for you?
Okay, Bimal. First of all, thanks for inviting me. And yes, Hilti in some ways is a different company in the sense that our business is into, we are professional service providers to the construction industries.
Correct.
But by and large, what we do is provide tools and fasteners and other equipment for the construction industries.
Correct.
Largely to promote the productivity and the ergonomics of the people who use them. Okay, and it's a very niche one, because what happens is that the technology as well as the R&D that we do for our products is we are based out of Liechtenstein, in Europe. It's very high, and we really input a lot into an R&D.
Right.
So whatever we sell as products, and now we offer products, services as well as software, is very specialized.
Right.
And it's really at the high end. So if you transfer that onto our requirements of people, we need people who are highly specialized and trained in engineering, understanding aspects of engineering and how they apply to the construction industry,
right,
and also very innovative. So for example, I can give you, if you go to YouTube and you type out Hilti XO, Hilti Hilti XO, EXO, you'll find that we have developed a product, the origin of which has been actually taken from medical sciences, but it is used for ergonomics in the construction industry.
Okay.
So things like that, those are just examples I'm mentioning.
Right.
The key point you mentioned was about what are the challenges that we face in terms of the talent.
Yeah.
First of all, I'll go about in a roundabout way, and I'll go up to 30,000 feet and then drop down to the ground. What comes up starkly today is there are lots of revolutions going around. Okay. And the most visible amongst them being the technological revolution.
Right.
Okay. And the digital revolution.
Yeah.
By the way, we have not escaped that revolution. We are also a part of it. You cannot escape it. It's all encompassing. If you will, it's something like, a new breath of air coming all the time.
Right.
So there's this technological revolution, and then you have social revolutions going on. You have political revolutions going on, and all that impact the economic landscape. So there are very fast emerging requirements of organizations. Okay. And if you look at organizations and peoples as different organic entities, you have also people with emerging wants, needs, and desires.
Correct.
Now, how do you marry these two? The requirements of organization in very fast changing times and the wants and needs of and desires of people, both economic, socially, and all that taken together. Now, drop down to the ground realities. When we think about this, the first thing that we look at as HR professionals is how do you manage the employee life cycle? Looking into these things. Okay. And the first thing that we have to recognize is what are the emerging issues and where can we do better?
Correct.
I mean, very, very simply put. Okay. Now, at the front end, we have hiring, and all of us have numbers which we have to hire for.
Correct.
And we have to hire keeping in mind our business model.
Right.
Our business model requires highly technical people, specialized in certain senses, knowledge about the construction industry, and also people who can grow into future leaders.
Right.
Okay. So we have the technical ladders, if you so will, and then we have the leadership growth, both taken together.
Correct.
Okay. And then ours is a direct sales model at Hilti. And that brings about a very different dimension to the way we work. A lot is about customer engagement. In fact, it's all about customer engagement. So how do you engage with customers? How do you respond to them? How do you develop the account? All those things are there.
So Sanjay, just let me stop you for a minute. I just want to maybe if you can talk a little bit about two of the aspects you mentioned. One is the direct sales model, because I would presume, and I want some insight from you on that the nature of the business, and because it requires expertise and understanding of a particular kind, therefore the direct sales model, in a way, because you can't really outsource that part of this thing. And second part, I want you to talk a little bit about is the technical career ladder, and how have you built that career ladder? I think if you can, deep dive a little bit into those two aspects, it will be useful.
Okay. So in terms of the direct sales model, it requires us to be in direct touch with customers.
Right.
And all our people who are very specialized and highly qualified reach out to the customers directly. And when we are selling things like tools and products as well as services and software, we actually need to demonstrate those.
Right.
So there's a blue collar aspect as well as a white collar aspect. For example, we need to demo our tools at the project sites where they are construction.
Right.
So our people need to understand that they have to go out all kinds of weathers, all kinds of places with slush, places which have very high heat, or it could be raining, or it could be very cold. And they have to go out onto the field to meet customers at the project sites, because that is what makes meaning for the customers.
Okay, got it.
And this is an area where we find a problem, because highly specialized people are more disposed to the desk kind of work.
Okay, that's an interesting challenge.
Now, if you take the extension further, 30% of our hiring is done through basically, talent hiring is what we call. And out of that, quite a bit is serviced through the universities.
Okay.
When you talk about universities, the first thing that comes across is you have to have a brand. Hilti has a brand in the construction industry, but at universities, you're not fighting for construction industry. You're fighting with the likes of Googles and Amazon and all that.
Correct.
So it is an interesting thing. And it's, I would say on the front end at the hiring side, it's an arena because it's all about fighting for talent.
Correct.
So that brings a very interesting concept on that side. So the brand is to be really felt, and you have to appear to be very genuine.
Right.
Because the pool that we are looking at is the same. Okay.
Yes, what you're also saying, Sanjay, is that the nature of the industry and the nature of sales is also requiring certain capabilities, but many of the people may not really want to specialize in those capabilities, particularly at the university level, and therefore you may be losing out on some good talent in that sense to competitors who could actually come from any industry in that sense,
Yes, and when you talk about competitors, there's this very interesting piece. I'm sure you are also aware. Engineering skills, especially in India, given its geography and the diversity, are very fungible. So we have had people leaving us and going into digital marketing too. Engineers who are doing work on the sites.
Right.
So that gives us furthermore avenue to think about how to engage our people. We need to engage our people very well. And about 80-85% of our talent are the millennials. You know that you're fighting for their attention. You're fighting for their time. You're fighting for their attention. So you have to build the work needs to be very interesting. You need to make it very interesting. You need to also enthuse them with very good projects. You need to keep them excited about the work that they do, where they can see the impact of their actions, making a direct contribution to the company. So that becomes very, very important. Okay. So that transferability of skills is another dimension which we have to take into account for the entire talent management piece.
How does that Sanjay, fit into this whole career ladder thing? And you spoke about aspirations earlier at a larger level. So how do you manage that, and build expertise and at the same time keep people engaged and all that?
Okay, very interesting, Bimal. You know what? Career ladders are something which have been existed for decades.
Sure.
Okay. And now we talk about the T kind of development, vertical as well as horizontal. If you have to go up to the top ranks, you have to have knowledge of associated functions.
Right.
And therefore that horizontal development, we do a lot of horizontal development for our people. And we offer them very, very, we offer them careers which can grow either in a single piece functionally, but also cross. What we are seeing is more and more people are opting for very diverse kind of growth in their own growth story. And I can give you an example from my team. In my team, out of 10 people, I have 4 who are from sales. 4 people who are HR BPs with no prior knowledge of HR.
Okay, interesting.
But they are operating as HR BPs. And the reason they come in is to gain an understanding of what the HR landscape looks like. And I train them and develop them, coach them into leaders for the next level. So they've come into this role for development and growth.
Right.
And that's what we have to look at. And in this whole thing about career rather than succession, you have to think about making growth visible to them.
To the individual,
To the individual, and make it very exciting and meaningful. I can give you examples. Each of my people do at least 2 to 3 very interesting and long projects, the year long, which impact the organization.
Right. Got it. So, that's an interesting perspective. So, you mentioned digital and, and we were talking earlier about, of course, the technology advances in your industry, but also the digital technologies and all that. It's quite clear that a lot of processes, including sales and all that, is becoming more and more virtual. And like you mentioned, in your case, a lot of it is actually about demonstration at the site kind of, work, a proof of the pudding, if you will. So how is that impacting, the virtual side? How are you doing that whole digital stuff? transformation, and what does it mean to your industry?
Yeah. So what's happening is that we have looked at the industry, look at the emerging digital space with a very large kind of an understanding of where all we are getting impacted.
Okay.
Even in HR, for example, we implemented Workday very recently, just at the beginning of the year, just before the pandemic set in.
Sure.
And then on the marketing side, we tried to understand what can we do to improve our reach to customers. What can we build towards increasing our customer engagement? So two examples I'll give you out here. One is basically we have something called Hilti Live, which is mostly like a customer education series on newer technologies, newer tools, newer software, newer services.
Right.
And that we have for, we actually have it like a live event on either Facebook or LinkedIn. It could be anywhere.
Right.
And we reach out to customers, inform them about this. Okay. So that's done digitally. The other things that we do is we also have online presence where it's called Hilti Online. People can go look at our products, understand what those are, and then also buy Hilti Online. A third way by which we do it is all our employees have something called a trade app. Okay. And by the way, even I have it on my phone. It's a trade app which tells you about what tools to use and what kinds of trades.
Okay, interesting.
So it gives you basically the requirements by segment.
Okay.
So even I can, for example, tell anyone that these are the kind of tools that you would need for these kind of applications. Of course, we have to be educated a little bit on that. And the company provides enough. We have a dedicated L&D department. And by the way, the L&D department comprises of all people from business, none from HR. None from HR.
Yeah.
Okay. So they know what's happening on the field and they train the people on these trade apps and things like that. These are the examples which we have. We also have a new project now, which is called Project Evolution. And Evolution is all about attaining a digital reach to a critical mass of customers. So just imagine a customer going and searching for a drill machine on Google, and we will get to know where the person is located, what are the kind of products he's looking for.
Okay.
And if he is already a customer, we have his entire customer history. And the next thing you know that happens is the account manager who's in charge of that account calls up the person and says, "Sir, looks like you're looking for this. Can I be of help?"
Okay.
And because we have a very good engagement already with our existing customers, they want to hear more and more.
No, interesting, Sanjay, you say that. So one last quick question, and this thing. So as you moved into this industry, which is obviously specialized, does sales in a different way, and as you're saying, you're using a lot of digital tools now to transform that whole engagement model with customers. What are the one or two things you have had to learn? Because for the company, you are also senior executive talent. So what are the two things you have had to learn, given that it's a specialized industry?
Okay, our company, our organization relies a lot on employee engagement.
Okay.
And we have been using basically an engagement. We have been using engagement surveys for a very, very long time. Okay. How to actually get that engagement going in terms of transforming our inquiry into action points. And what we do there is basically we have action planning workshops for each of our 88 teams. And it's done across 3 to 4 hours. And where the score is less, I, as well as the the head of the function are present there to facilitate this team. So we know that that is going to bring about engagement. And then when there is engagement on the employee side, customer engagement cannot be far away. That is the basic belief. And that's something which I've had to learn more and more. I did believe in engagement, but the extent to which engagement impacts business is really something else and is to be seen to be believed. Really. That's one of the things that I have mentioned, that I have learned. And the other thing that I can talk significantly about is that we have to adopt ourselves to a new era of openness and transparency. We have to be totally transparent with our people. We were transparent earlier also, but I think now the people also like to hear about the decisions of the management and the rationale behind it. They also like to be involved in the decision-making process. And that is something which we have to learn, and we are still learning on how to better that. And there are various levels of decision-making, you know, how to devolve that so that decision-making happens at the lowest level and it saves the top management time to think about the future is what we have, is the next step.
No, but those are interesting learnings, Sanjay. And, you know, because I think while at a generic level in HR, we talk about many of these things, but the impact on talent and the impact on customer and the impact of, you know, overall into the value add into the company is, I think, interesting, you know, what you brought out in this conversation. So thank you very much again for this conversation. Some lovely points, and I hope our listeners will really enjoy this. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.